Hey guys, Artosis here, bringing you an awesome edition of the Moonlight Pro League. This one is going to be the survival series. It's Zerg against Terran against Protoss. Whoever plays, if they win, they stay on and they move against the other race. There will be no mirror matchups. Whatever race is left at the end ends up winning. So it is an awesome format. We've definitely casted some of this for KCM in the past. This is a self-funded one. A big thank you to everyone who is supporting over on the Patreon. That's patreon.com/Artosis. Appreciate you all very much. And this is going to be an awesome, awesome match. You can see in the bottom right, we have the list of players. We have for Terran, Scan, Ample, Leda, and Haya. For Protoss, we have Motive, Paralyze, Mighty, and Ruin. And for Zerg, we have True, Beast, Yabsab, and HM. This first particular one, of course, they're not playing on their real IDs for whatever reason. Up here in the top right of Eclipse, this is True. And in the bottom left, we have none other than Haya. He goes by the ID Inga quite often, and True, for whatever reason, has the BTS ID. But yes, this is True, the StarCraft 2 pro gamer who had quite good success, but is back in StarCraft 1, a very, very strong pro in StarCraft 1 at this point. And of course, Haya is well known, very old school, a very smart Terran player. As to who's favored, I feel like they're a similar level. Maybe Haya is a little bit better. He is, you know, a little bit more seasoned and a pretty brainy pro, so we'll see how he ends up doing. But the map is Eclipse, as you see. That's a pretty quick drone scout, just, I guess, making sure that there's no 8 racks or anything like that. And, of course, you'll see the barracks on the way and already put a little bit of damage onto this scouting SCV. So, yeah. No big deals or anything as of yet. Pretty standard stuff to open. Now, yeah, this is a slightly larger Survivor series than we normally have. Like, a lot of times it's 3 versus 3 versus 3, but you can do 4 versus 4 versus 4. And I think it's actually, like, maybe a little bit better because you really get deep into the matchups, right? You know, sometimes when it's, like, 3 versus 3 versus 3, especially on, like, the KCM race Survivor series, you'll get situations where, like, one really strong pro just happens to kill all of one's race. That's like almost impossible to occur here, right? Like, let's say that you know, Inga was, or Haya was going to try to eliminate all the Zerg players, right? He'd have to also eliminate 3 Protoss, and it just isn't very realistic. So you're kind of going to get some of every matchup in a series this big, which I think is going to be really cool and very refreshing as well. So right now, you know, Haya is scouting around. The spawning pool actually finishes rather late there, and the layer starts immediately, but this was like a 305 finish, which 304, 305, something like that. So this is very likely to be a 3 hatchery in main base build. He actually starts speed at the same time. So when you get speed at the same time, you definitely don't need to make your hatchery in the main base. With the speed upgrade, you can take a 3rd base and have real potential to defend that against an early move out, which is what we should be seeing here from Haya. As you can see, he's got 2 barracks already, Academy on the way before 4 minutes. So this is a 2 racks Academy rush, which means that he will have 2 medics before that crucial 5-minute mark, which allows you to move out and possibly attack a base before you really get to the time that mutas are out. And then when mutas are out, obviously the Marine medic doesn't have very long on the map. But right now, True is actually making a lot of Zerglings, as you can see. A ton of Lings flowing out, more and more on the way. So it definitely looks like he wants to be aggressive, making that Spire as well. And this is a ton of Lings, guys. Like, seriously, he is making so many. But look at this Sim City going up. A depot as well as a bunker right off the bat. And look at this. He pulls the SCVs. This is a really good, really smart pull. But, oh my God. Forces the Lings to the side and then immediately jumps on everything. Kills most of the Lings. And most of the Marines. Only 1 Marine makes it into the bunker, and the Lings continue to flow in. More Lings are coming down the map right now. Haya gonna be in a little bit of trouble here. He's blocking the ramp. He's gonna try to mine a little bit more, but there's not that many SCVs in here. If he can get a full surround, this will die very quickly indeed. Let's see how True tries to go about it. It seems like he's pretty done as far as Zergling production goes, starting to save up his money a little bit for those incoming Mutalisks. Will turrets be up in time? It actually doesn't look like it. We don't have the engineering base started. So without an engineering bay, I mean, this is a mistake that can occur sometimes. If you have so much link pressure on you, you don't make your engineering bay, and suddenly Muta's flying, and you just don't have any turrets. Look at that, 3 SCVs being picked off so quickly. True dealing a huge amount of damage right now. Kills off a ton of SCVs. Gonna go ahead, rotate around here. The Marines are gonna kind of catch this. Engineering bay gets started, but the Mutas are already started as well. So the turrets will not be done by the Mutas by the time the Mutas come over here. That doesn't necessarily mean that the game is over, but it's certainly not good. It's going to be hard to defend anything against these Mutalisks. Now, the Lings are still running around trying to buy some time. Looks like they will be able to pick off one Marine. They don't quite get that second one. More Lings trying to poke in the front. Now, one thing to mention, look, it's only 16 drones for True. He's showing that he's just as aggressive in StarCraft 1 as he ever was in StarCraft 2, known very much for the Zergling being his key unit back then. The turrets are being made, but you can see the Mutas closing very, very quickly. He was actually a little bit slow in making those Mutas and sending them over, so it looks like some of the turrets should be finishing, but he won't have any on the barracks yet, which is kind of a big deal. Wow, a lot of Marines get picked off, but he does get pushed back still. Haya, oh my god, the Lings just run past and get up on top of the barracks. And this is the real problem in this game. There's no missile turret here. So everything that pops out is going to end up dying here to the Mutalisks and Zerglings. You can see the Mutas have taken a lot of damage, but I don't think he minds too much. They're dealing some significant damage right now, just preventing any other units from being made. Pure Mutalisks being produced at home. True looking for that huge amount of damage. Picks off some more Marines. Picks off some SCVs here as well. And how do you hold this? How do you go forward here as Haya? This looks very, very difficult. True with that killer instinct, just floating around those barracks, ready to catch any SCVs coming out. You can see the SCVs being picked off one by one. This is looking bad. I think the Zerg team going to get the first victory here, as Haya unable to make any progress towards saving these bases. Look at that. Even the turret that's being built, a single Zergling going ham on it right now. The Mutas flying in once again. And yeah, as the turrets fall, I think we're going to see a GG. And that means our first Terran player going to be eliminated. And True going to stay on to play against the first Protoss player. We'll see how he can do in that next. But right now, for Haya, it's just kind of sinking in that he simply doesn't have anything left. A couple scans go off. He's trying to figure out, oh my gosh, what does he even have? He's been so aggressive. And that's it, GG. And so directly into game number 2. This is Mighty from Team Protoss going up against True. The game has just begun, and that was a pylon scout on Fighting Spirit. So he gets to see immediately what True is up to, and can actually, if he wants to, go Nexus first from this, because he scouts that there's no spawning pool first. So we'll see if that's where Mighty wants to go. I think so. You can see the minerals banking up on both sides. Mighty trying to delay this hatchery as much as possible and saving up for his own Nexus. So looking pretty darn good to open here for Team Protoss. You love it when you can get that Nexus first, even if you had to spend an early probe scout. And, I mean, the player that we have here, I've definitely casted Mighty a lot, but to remind people that might not know, Mighty, for a while, has been considered the strongest Protoss player that hasn't been in ASL yet. He's always kind of a contender. I feel like he's been less spoken about lately. He's kind of maintained that very high level, but still hasn't been able to quite make it to that very, very top stage. That being said, Mighty, I think, is match enough for True. This should be a good game going on here. And we'll see if True can maybe get 2 wins in a row. Right now, you know, we're still very much at the beginning of this Survivor Series, and only Terran has taken any injuries thus far. Hope that you guys like to see some Protoss games. I know lately we haven't had as many. I'm trying to get more in there now. And I'm actually kind of hoping that Protoss ends up winning this particular Survivor Series so that we can get some more of those. But yeah, the cannon going up as well as the gateway. Very nice, very greedy opener here from Mighty. definitely has a slight advantage. You can see that True has 100 gas, but hasn't spent it as of yet. He might be looking to just kill the probe. Right now, Mighty knows that he has 100 gas, so he might be thinking, oh, this is like a speedling rush. You know, maybe he's going to go mass speedlings and try to kill me or something. So we might see him do something like make a second cannon or be more careful with moving out with Zealots. So something like that could be what the aim is, but still not spending that 100 gas. Instead, third hatchery going up. We might see a layer. We might see speed. And there's the layer. There's the layer. But it's very, very delayed from when he mined that gas. So a lot of mind games coming out of True at the moment. Mighty, of course, has no way to check on this. He has nothing out on the map. If we take away the vision of True, you can see, like, what's he see? An Overlord coming in. He's got 2 probes blocking. You know, it's not a lot going on for Mighty since he lost that early probe, which is, of course, something you don't want to do, but occasionally happens even to the best players in the world. Now, +1 attack, very, very quick here. Citadel as well. So what this looks like to me from Mighty is he saw the 100 gas was mined and he saw no layer start. You can't tell if a spawning pool is upgrading. So I think right now, Mighty thinks that +1 attack, or Zergling speed rather, is on the way. And so he's going for an anti-Zergling build. He's making a couple more gateways. He's even making a Dragoon to push out this Overlord. But he's going to focus primarily on getting the Zealot leg upgrade and a lot of Zealots. And against a Zergling-based defense, he would absolutely destroy. But True has played a mind game here that we were talking about before. He made that 100 gas, didn't get speed, got a delayed layer, and now is going into Spire tech. So if he gets up to Mutalisks and there's no Stargate for Mighty, the game might just end. There is a possibility. Now, if Mighty's putting on enough pressure that you can either figure out that it's a very quick Spire, or if he can make the Mutas stay at home, those are situations in which he might be all right. But really, you can't counter Mutalisks unless you're very far ahead without Corsairs. This is like why Corsairs were even put into the game with Brood War. Even back then, they knew when they added the Corsair and the Valkyrie that you needed some splash anti-air. The Mutalisk's just such a strong unit since the beginning. So I am a little bit nervous right now for Mighty. I hope that he can get out there quickly, get that pressure on the Zealot leg upgrade, not too far off. Now, he saw right there that the Zerglings don't have speed. So that should tip him off a little bit, like, oh, you mined 100 gas, but you didn't get speed. Well, what could you have purchased? If it was a Hydralisk Den, the Hydras would already be here. So really, a layer is the only thing. And you can see he starts +1 air weapons immediately, and there's your Stargate. So Mighty knows now that he has been duped. He's made the right choices to try to counteract this. And here we go. There is a second creep on the way. No Sunkens up here, but a creep on the way. Speed is done, +1 about to finish. Mighty actually might be able to kill this base, to be honest. There are some Mutas about to pop out, but it could take them a little bit to kill off these Zerglings. Now, the Zealots get on top of this morphing sunken colony. Ling's coming up and targeting down the Dragoon as quickly as possible so his Mutas can kill that, not take any additional damage. Now, the Mutas going after these Zealots, but you can see the Zealots dealing so much damage so quickly. He's going to go after this hatchery. The Mutas, of course, getting their pot shots. Ooh, Mighty switches over a single Zealot to kill that drone. And it does look like this hatchery, rather, I think it will just barely go down. Oh my god, it's getting so close. He sends up a few more Zealots to make sure that he finishes it off. And down it will go. So now Mighty has killed that third base location. He killed some drones as well. In fact, trying to get these drones as they pop out of those eggs. Okay, does he have enough at home to survive the counterattack? Because True just lost a base. It is a big deal. But his economy is not terrible. He still has an okay amount of drones. He has a lot of Mutalisks out on the map. Some Scourge being made as well. But are there enough cannons here to just kind of keep him safe while he builds these Corsairs? He's going 2 Stargate Corsair right now. Ooh, takes a big volley onto this one Corsair. Backs up. All right, some damage being put onto those Mutalisks. Mutas diving on the cannon in the natural. Uh-oh, the 3 Corsairs come up to try to defend. This is getting a little bit messy, though. I love how True is kind of patrolling this area, making it hard for the Corsairs to cover everything. They have to go through a no man's land where there's no cannons to help out. And now, oh man, loses a Corsair to those Scourge flying in. 2 more Scourge coming now as well. And they do connect on the Corsairs. The cannons all picked off. Now it's up to these few Corsairs to kill off the Mutalisks. It doesn't look like that is going to happen, unfortunately. And True dealing a lot of damage so far. He's starting to kill quite a few probes. You can see that probe count falling ever so quickly here in that top right corner. The Mutas, they are damaged, but they are alive. Oh, man. Scourge come in and catch yet another Corsair. True's mind games really, really paying off. A few Zealots have gone across the map. I think right now the idea from Mighty is he needs to get the Mutas to leave his base. If he can get the Mutas to leave his base, maybe he can get enough Corsairs out. He can get some additional cannons that he can fight back in this game. But with the Corsairs sitting there, it doesn't feel very likely. So here the Zealots go. The Zealots trying so hard to deal some damage, but drones blocking absolutely everything. And it looks like True deciding, you know what? I don't need to go home as long as I don't die right now. And he's completely correct. He stops those Zealots dead in their tracks. And with this many Scourge and no other anti-air other than a couple Dragoons being made, I think that's it. I don't think Mighty can do anything else here. Oh my gosh, he actually slips out a Corsair. That's kind of a big deal. But yeah, the Mutas, they're badly hurt. It's just the Scourge, it's so hard to deal with. I think he's trying to wait for these 2 Dragoons. This will probably be his last stand as these Dragoons pop out. They go after the Scourge. As you can see, target 1 down, but the Mutas go after those Dragoons immediately. The last Dragoon was being picked off. 1 Dragoon left over here. He's trying to micro so hard, but True keeping these Mutas alive. This should really be it at this point. I mean, 2 Dragoons and 2 Corsairs being made, but True's expanded another couple of times, and there's just nothing out here for Mighty. Even a couple Lings run past and start dealing some additional damage as well. The Corsairs never hitting their critical mass, and Team Zerg on the back of True going to be able to pick up another map here. Man. I think that's it, guys. We're gonna call it GG. True wins another map.